Welcome back everybody to another episode of the GameCast Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula, bringing you a special report on one particular story for today. The Epic Games Store. Now, this is a store that is mired by controversy almost constantly since its launch. And now they had the opportunity to do something amazing and have somehow turned that into more controversy. Go figure with that. So Epic Games decided they were going to launch the first ever sale, mind the cat dropping off the chair, on their store. And they did it in a rather odd way, because instead of the usual thing where Steam, when they have their summer sale, Valve informs publishers particularly of what they're going to be doing in advance so that publishers can prepare, or publishers and developers can prepare for their games to be put on sale, and they can adjust things accordingly. Epic Games decided they weren't going to do this step, and in fact they didn't even inform customers that they were going to be doing this, and launched this sale. You okay there, cat? And so they launched this sale completely out of the blue, surprising all of the customers and annoying quite a few of the people who pre-ordered certain games, and I will tell you why. So, the way that Epic Games are working their sale is that you get a certain percentage off of each game, and then on top of that, any game priced over $15 gets a further coupon-style reduction of $10. Now, this is great from a consumer standpoint if you haven't bought a game yet, but this is a thing that's also available on pre-orders for games, which is where it becomes a little bit crappy for both the consumers and for the developers and publishers. Reason being, on the consumer side, if in terms of a pre-order, when you place your money down for a pre-order in this instance, you aren't getting the product immediately. Whereas if you do buy a game outright on Steam, you know it's already out or it's in early access or whatever, you get a product right then, right there at the point of purchase. At this point, you're buying the promise of a game at a date. And to be putting that on such a drastic sale is a bit of a kick in the teeth for the people who pre-ordered the game, because they pre-ordered the game earlier at the full price, and they're not getting the game any sooner. They haven't got this game quicker, they've not had more time to play it, they've not had anything like that. And that seems a bit shady to me. I feel like that's not very fair on the consumers who bought the game at full price or pre-ordered the game at full price. Yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. If you have any other different opinions on that matter, then please do leave it in the comments below, as long as you're civil. What are you doing? How else can Epic Games mess this up though? Well, according to some anecdotal reports, customers who buy multiple games at a time, because of course the Epic Games Store doesn't have a shopping cart, reliably informed by people who've done web development before, that a cart is one of the easiest things to add to any sort of storefront. But yeah, people buying multiple games in a short period of time have found their accounts being locked out by some fraud protection kind of software built into the launcher, which is absolutely fabulous. It's exactly what you want. You see all these games on sale. Some people, they'll just go and buy a load of them. I was thinking of maybe buying a couple myself. I don't know, I might do. You know, it's a big enough sale. And then they're finding their accounts being locked out because them buying games has set off the fraud detection. Real smooth, guys. That's a real good fraud protection you got there. Don't put on a sale if you have overactive fraud protection like that, because it's never going to end well, to be honest. What do you want?
Cuddles and love.
On the developer publisher side though, this has led to quite a few rather drastic reactions. Paradox, the publisher for instance, have removed Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 from pre-order sale on the Epic Games Store, because they just weren't informed about this, and they are very unhappy that none of this was communicated to them. And I believe I have a little statement that I can read out for you. So, a Paradox representative speaking to Kotaku had this to say: "We are in discussion with Epic regarding the temporary removal of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 from the Epic Games Store. The game will return soon. Any purchases made while the game was discounted during the Epic Mega Sale will be honoured and no Masquerade violations will be assessed." Good, that's the correct response to any sort of thing like this, but it's obvious that the company are not happy with Epic Games over this. They've entered discussions over what was done. The likely reason for this is because maybe the publisher didn't want to participate in this sale, and whilst the sale proceeds are actually being taken out of Epic Games' cut, this is still a little bit, you know, when you got this whole the $10 thing off, it does then get very close to cutting into the developer publisher's cut of the revenue, because the Epic Games' revenue stream is a lot smaller than Steam's. Their revenue cut is smaller than Steam's. It cuts into that. Maybe if you look at, depending on the discount, and you know, some developers, publishers just might not want to take part in the sale. You see that in the Steam sale all the time. On the Steam sale, publishers are informed, and then I believe they are given the choice of, you know, if they want to put the game on sale, and if so, for how much off. You know, you see a lot of games, especially the new ones on Steam during the summer, not being on sale because the developers, publishers don't want them to be on sale, and to just do it without asking is a little bit of a stupid move. Another interesting reaction, though, was by Supergiant Games with their game Hades, which is currently in early access on the Epic Games Store. It's in development, and they had originally planned to up the price of their game after a certain amount of development has been done. However, they had always intended to inform customers well in advance of this. However, because of what Epic Games have done, they've put this price rise in now. So if you wanted to buy Hades and like the price point it was at, too bad, because Epic Games made Supergiant raise the price. You can put a bit of the blame of that at Supergiant Games' door, of course, but to be honest, I think most of the blame there can be put on Epic, because it wouldn't have been done if the game wasn't discounted to $6.99 in dollars, which is about a $5, just out of the blue, without being told. Their game has just been discounted by, well, that ends up being 75% nearly, which is nuts, frankly. So they ended up raising their game's price to $24.99, putting the sale price to $14.99. I get it, I do. I still kind of feel bad for the customers who wanted to buy the game at the original price or even at the sale price, but I do understand exactly why Supergiant Games have done that, because they got a little bit dicked over there. Still, all this says to me in the end is that Epic Games have sort of rushed their client to market. They don't really have any sort of proper measure of how to do these kinds of things. They seem to be a little bit unaware, mostly, of the sort of standards that you set during these kinds of things. And this could have been a great moment for them. They could have had a massive sale and everyone would have gone, wow, that's great. If they'd have informed the publishers first, that may have been a better idea. And to be honest, I feel like their actions, especially recently, may well make a lot of publishers take a step back before they sign this exclusivity deal and go, wait, is this a good idea? I might be wrong, I might be talking horseshit, they might get a load of exclusives still coming through the door, but I do feel like this is going to make them at least take a step back and go, is this really the platform that we want to sign our game over to for an entire year? Because it's... I'm sorry, it's just not very good. That's my opinion. I'm not a massive fan of the Epic Games Store client. I mean, Steam is shit, but in its own way. This is shit in a different way. Anyway, so that's pretty much the end of this story. I'm just going to leave it at that for today. It's a big thing to talk about. And yeah, let's wrap it up. That brings us to the end of this episode of the GC Informer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe and share. Stay tuned to GameCast because Sully is bringing up a brand new type of video to the channel in the next few days. He's told me what it is. I'm very excited to see it. It's going to be in 2 parts and I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that though, thanks very much for watching and I will see you soon for something else.